Alright guys, as I already tell you about this weather, it's probably be sunny till 6 p.m. I hope so. Today we're gonna go to this national park as Analamazaotra, which is the only good place to see the two largest living lemur as the Indri, the demo golden sifaka, the ones we saw yesterday because of you. But today we try to watch it very well because this forest is more open and they usually seen lower, often on the ground. But first, before to start, I already found chameleon somewhere there.
Cool.
So let's looking for that one before to join Franklin.
Okay.
Yes, good, this way.
So last night, we had our first night walk here in Underseabear. So we walked along a road. There were loads of other people. It was a bit weird, and there wasn't much to see, and you had to make sure you didn't get run over by the cars. But then we went off into the forest, saw some interesting spiders, and we came to a sacred place where there is a tree which no one has identified yet. It doesn't have any name. It's called the unknown tree, and it's an area that's cordoned off and used by the locals as a sacred site where they can go and bring their wishes and have their problems resolved. And to this day, the tree changes its leaf shape, and no one has been able to identify it. Pretty weird, sort of a bit Blair Witchy, but fascinating that the rich local culture is still very much prevalent. Today I'm in Analamazaotra National Park. It's one of the two national parks here in Underseabear. It's about 900 hectares of secondary forest, but a very good place to see habituated Indri and various other lemurs in the area. It's got good paths. You definitely would come here. Try and come earlier in the morning and take one of the longer paths if you can to avoid the public, because it's definitely one of the areas that there are quite a few tourists, and you'll see the car park will be full. If you come early and then leave, the car park will be full. But it's an interesting place and easy to get around, and has some interesting species of lemur that you can actually see quite close to the ground, which some of the primary forest is difficult to do. One of the great things about this area is the fact that the community have taken over quite a few tranches of land which usually would have been decimated, and it's really important here to keep the original forest. So there's no option to replant forest here because it's such a complex ecosystem. So the only way to preserve or conserve the lemur and wildlife and biodiversity is to actually try and preserve as much of the original forest as possible. I'm currently in a secondary forest, and it has been degraded to an extent, but it is currently being conserved. In the community, however, there are quite a few pockets of primary forest which are under threat, and the community are rallying around because they are starting to see the viability of keeping the primary forest intact. And it's because of tourism that they understand that now. And very much like the conservancies around the Mara, you're finding in this area there are small community pockets of forest being created around the primary forests and the national parks, and this will very much help the conservation of the lemur and the biodiversity in this area. If you can hear the noises behind me, a little bit like whale song, those are the calls of the Indri, the largest lemur in Madagascar, the only one without a tail. And it's the reason why Madagascar is called Madagascar. It's because it's called Ghost Island. The people who arrived here didn't see the Indri, they could only hear them. And that's all they heard, like a ghost.
Yeah, here the troops are somewhere.
In the canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should move.
This one is known as the most impolite species of lemur.
The most impolite?
Yeah. So
That's very
it's
cute.
always better to not stay underneath there.
Oh, okay.
That's a sign like saying that, okay, go away, don't stay here.